Hello everyone, welcome back to Ethereal Guidance. I hope you all are doing well. My name is Bree and I am a tarot reader here on YouTube, and I just want to thank you so much for clicking on this video and for being here with me today. I'm very excited to get into today's reading, and very quickly before we jump into the pile selection, I just wanted to say thank you for all of the continued love and support on the channel. From the bottom of my heart, it really means a lot, and I'm so happy that you guys are enjoying these readings and hopefully finding clarity within these readings, because that's the main goal. So I just wanted to say thank you and show my love and gratitude to you all. So let's go ahead and jump into today's pick a card reading. Today we're going to be asking Spirit, should you follow your head or follow your heart? So this can be about a particular situation or even a person, or this could just be in a general sense. Should you lean more into following your logical mind, or should you lean more into following your heart? So I have three groups for you to choose from. We have pile number 1 with the smoky quartz, pile 2 with the desert rose, and pile number 3 with the amethyst. So feel free to pause the video if you need more time to meditate on the piles. As always, the timestamps are in the description box below, and I will see you all in your readings. Hi pile 1, if you chose the smoky quartz, then this is going to be your reading where we are asking Spirit, should you follow your head or your heart at this time? Like I said in the intro, this could be about a specific situation or person, or this could just be in a general sense to see where Spirit is guiding you more towards at this time. And very quickly before we get started, I did want to mention that with most things in life, balance is typically the key. So that's no different for this question. Having a balance between your logic and your heart space is most likely going to be the key. But I just wanted to see, where Spirit is kind of leaning you more towards regarding the situation, or just in a general sense at this time, pile number 1. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with your tarot. And let's see, for pile number 1, please, Spirit, for pile number 1, should pile number 1 follow their head or their heart at this time? Should pile 1 follow their head? So we have the 3 of Wands. Should pile 1 follow their head or their heart at this time? We have the Emperor. We have the Fool. Should pile 1. Okay, that is too many. Let's get 2 more cards. Should pile 1 follow their head or their heart? We have the 6 of Swords. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. At the bottom of the deck, we have the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, pile number 1. Should you follow your head or should you follow your heart at this time? So I kind of feel, with the Emperor being here, this is definitely kind of making me think this is leading more towards following your head at this time. We don't really have any cards here that really lean into the heart space. This is kind of giving me more like logic as well as a little bit of passion, because we do have the 3 of Wands here. Now the 3 of Wands being here, this is a card of waiting for the tide to come in. This is a card of looking to the future and waiting for something to come in that you can see is right on the horizon, but it's not yet here yet. So there's this kind of like a feeling of you kind of waiting for either more answers or waiting for the go ahead, or even kind of waiting to feel more comfortable with making some sort of a decision, making some sort of a leap of faith with the Fool here. I do feel like you are being guided to kind of take control of this situation with the Emperor here, but I do feel like you're being encouraged to move from a more logical standpoint, but in a way that's really I want to say poised or well balanced. So there's this feeling of things might be kind of scattered within your mental space right now, pile number one. And I think it's because you're waiting for more answers that I think will put you in a place where you will feel more comfortable and you'll feel more, I'm hearing, like charged up to move forward or make some sort of leap of faith or just taking charge of your life in general. And I feel like this is going to really translate well into your material world. We do have the Ace of Pentacles and that Ten of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. So it kind of feels like you're moving into a new beginning, for sure, a new beginning. We do have a new beginning within your material world that I think is really going to allow you to cultivate a lot of stability and abundance for yourself, regardless of what you're asking about. I just feel like by you taking control of your life and moving from a more logical standpoint will bring you into a better place, not only like mentally, but also just in your physical reality as well. So it does feel like you're kind of waiting on an answer, or you're waiting for some more clarification, or you're waiting for something that I think will put you in a position that will really help you move forward in a more logical way with that Six of Swords, because this is the calm after the storm, but it's sword energy, so that's making me think of like the mind. There's nothing really here indicating you should follow your heart. It does feel like you should lean more into your logical space at this time, even with the Emperor. Like I said, he's a very logical thinker, divine masculine. He's a planner, he's strategic, and I kind of feel like that's kind of where you need to lean into. Pile number one, that's the energy that you need to lean into a little bit more here as you move forward and as you create these new beginnings for yourself, however that may look for you. Like I said, you could ask about anything. I just feel like you are being guided to lean more into your logical space at this time. And it could even be, like I said, it's really about balance most of the time with these kinds of things. So it could be that you're leaning more into your heart space at this time, and maybe that's kind of clouding your judgment. So maybe that's why Spirit is, really encouraging you to lean more into your mental space, into your divine masculine energy, to create more of a balance within yourself and even within your material world. But like I said, I feel like you're waiting on something. I don't know. I'm hearing you're waiting on a green light, or you're waiting for just clarification or something of that nature that I think will put you in a position where you'll feel really just ready, very prepared to move forward mentally, So let's go ahead and get into your oracle cards now. I pulled 2 tea leaves. One will be like what will happen if you follow your mind versus what will happen if you follow your heart. So if you follow your mind, you have basket with recognition, reward for merit. And if you follow your heart, you have the weeping willow with family sorrow. So, okay, that's very interesting because that Ten of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck can really speak of family, So, but this is like a very abundant card with the Ten of Pentacles. So it's very interesting that following your heart could lead to family sorrow. Now, this doesn't have to be anything like deep. It could just be like disappointment somehow by you following your heart at this time, by the people closest to you or by your family members. By you following your mind here, though, we have recognition and we have reward for merit. So you definitely will have a lot of success, I feel, by following your mental space and being strategic. There's a lot of abundance for you and your loved ones if you're a little bit more strategic, and if you follow your logical side a little bit more rather than your heart space. I kind of feel like with this group pile one, I feel like a lot of you probably naturally lean into your heart space a little bit more. Even if you are logical thinkers, I still feel like this heavy energy of like you want to follow your heart. And I feel like in regards to what you're asking about specifically, or just in a general standpoint, your abundance at this time is on the other side of you being more strategic, you being more logical, You really taking things into your own hands. That's kind of the energy that I'm picking up on here. But it does feel like you're waiting for, like I said, a green light, or you're waiting for some clarification with the Three of Wands. And maybe the clarification is this video, you know. That could even be the case for some of you. But I do feel like by you following your head, you're going to kind of reap the rewards for sure with the basket here. And if you follow your heart, I mean, that's not to say that you won't find success or you won't have a favorable outcome by following your heart, but I do feel like there's going to be some sort of disappointment, especially regarding like your loved ones being disappointed or something of that nature. So yeah, that is what I'm seeing. We're going to go ahead and take a look at your last card here. Like I said, I wanted to pull advice from Spirit regarding the situation, or just in general if you don't have a specific situation that you're asking about. So you guys have Dog with loyalty. You may be feeling like those around you let you down or are not doing their fair share of work. This comes as a reminder that loyalty exists and you must not settle for anything less. You deserve better than mixed signals. Okay. Very interesting. So of course, like all of you are asking about different things, so take this how it resonates for you specifically. I kind of feel like, especially if you're asking about another person or like a partnership of some sort, and this person is sending you mixed signals, and maybe your loved ones are really wanting you to move in another direction, but you're like, my heart just feels called to this person. You know, I feel like that could also be referencing a situation like that, where it's like your loved ones are like trying to tell you this isn't the right choice, or this isn't the right path for you or person for you, but for some reason you still feel very drawn to this thing. Mentally, maybe you know that you should go a different direction. There's something about that coming through here, where I think maybe by you really tapping into your heart space too much, or leaning into that too much, is really clouding your judgment, pile number one. So I think that's why Spirit is wanting you to lean more into that logical mindset with regards to this situation, or just in a general sense at this time, because it's going to lead you to success. And it kind of feels like if you lean more into your heart space at this time, you're kind of just moving from an imbalanced place, and it's like this feeling of your loved ones or the people around you just feeling disappointed because they keep trying to guide you into a better direction, but it just feels like you just don't take it, if that makes sense, by following your heart space, because it just feels imbalanced, you know. Of course, there's nothing wrong with following your heart. It just feels like when there's an imbalance, it can lead you into a direction that's not as favorable for you. And I kind of feel like some of you may have people around you, whether it's family, friends, or just coworkers, or it just feels like you may have people around you that are trying to guide you in the right direction, but you don't really want to hear it for one reason or another. Like your heart just feels really into whatever this is that I think you're either needing to move away from, or you're needing to take a different direction. So yeah, like I said, take it how it resonates for your specific situation, because, you know, it is a general reading. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here for you, pile number one. I do hope that this reading was helpful and that it resonated with you. If it did, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye! Hi pile 2, if you chose this Desert Rose, then this is going to be your reading, where we are asking Spirit, should you follow your head or your heart at this time? Like I said in the intro, this could be about a specific situation, person, or this could just be in general if you're wanting to see where you're kind of being guided at this time. And very quickly, before we get in, I do want to mention that with most things in life, it's all about balance. So I feel like even with this situation or this question that we're asking today, it's always good to have a nice balance between like your logic and your heart space. So I kind of just wanted to see where Spirit's kind of leaning you more towards to establish more of a balance to help you achieve the most favorable outcome for your situation. So let's go ahead and get in. We're going to start off with your tarot, and we'll see for pile number 2, please Spirit. Should pile number 2 follow their head or their heart at this time? Should pile 2 follow their head or their heart at this time, Spirit. So you guys have the 8 of Cups, the 3 of Wands. Should pile to follow their head or their heart, Spirit. We have the High Priestess. We have the 6 of Swords. And we have the 5 of Wands. Okay. Bottom of the deck, we have the Fool. So pile number 2, should you follow your head or your heart with regards to the situation or just in general? So I feel like with the High Priestess being here, you know, this is a card of intuition, you know. So I feel like with this High Priestess being here, I feel like a lot of you are definitely being guided to, or you are being guided to, definitely follow your intuition, follow your heart at this time. It kind of feels like there's this battle within you, pile number 2, with regards to what you're asking about, or just in general, there's this battle in you where it's like, I kind of feel like your heart is guiding you to either leave something or move on from something, but your mental space for some reason is trying to keep you stuck there or keep you stagnant in a place where it doesn't feel right. I don't know if it's because you feel some sort of loyalty to this thing, or like logically you feel like you should stay in this thing, but your heart is guiding you to leave. Whatever this is, whatever you're asking about, your heart is guiding you to move on from something with the 8 of Cups, because this is a card of deliberately walking away from something, and this is cup energy, which is all about feelings, emotions, the heart, right? And I feel like even with the High Priestess here, you know, this is, like I said, intuition. So I feel like intuitively you're being told to move on from something, but it's kind of like your head is kind of keeping you stuck somehow. Even with the 6 of Swords, you know, this is the calm after the storm. It's about moving on from a tumultuous time. And the 5 of Wands is literally a card of conflict. So it kind of feels like within your mind, there's a lot going on. You know, there's a lot of conflict going on. And I feel like your heart is definitely pulling you to move on from something, someone. Your intuition is telling you this, but for some reason, your logical mind is kind of keeping you in a place of conflict with that 5 of Wands energy here. And I feel like you know that there's something better with the 3 of Wands, because this is a card of kind of like looking to the future, waiting for the tide to come in. You can see like this new beginning. And like I said, we did have that Fool at the bottom of the deck. It's like you can see this new beginning on the horizon, and you're kind of just waiting for it to come in. But I feel like this definitely requires you to follow your heart and leave what's not serving you, leave what is causing conflict either within you, or even if this is external conflict, because this can also reference like competitiveness or just arguments, things of that nature. This could be internal within your mental space, or this could even be for some of you external as well. I feel like for most of you though, this is really referencing your mental space. Like there's conflict within your mental space, and your heart is really guiding you to walk away from something that's causing this conflict within you, to find more peace, to find more mental peace and clarity. But this definitely feels like you're being called to follow your heart at this time, pile number 2, following your intuition, following that gut feeling about something, even if it maybe doesn't make logical sense at this time. If you're being called, or if you're feeling called to walk away from something, to move on from something, to start something new, I feel like this is your sign to go ahead and do that, pile number 2 for sure. But I want to go ahead and get into your oracles. I did pull some tea leaves. I pulled one tea leaf to see what the outcome would be if you followed your head, and one to see the outcome if you followed your heart at this time. So let's see. If you follow your head, we have younger woman, dealings or relationship with the younger woman. And if you follow your heart, we have rose with romances in the air. So you may be asking about a love situation. And it's interesting. I never really get this card, I don't think, with the rose here. Romance is in the air. If you follow your heart, romance is in the air. And if you follow your head, there's dealings or relationship with a younger woman. So some of you may be attracted to women, like romantically. And if that's the case, I feel like if you follow your head, you're going to continue to deal with a younger woman potentially. Maybe you're dealing with someone that's younger than you. Maybe that's where this conflict is coming from. Like conflict with someone that's younger than you. And if you follow your heart, I feel like, especially if you're asking about a love-related question, if you follow your heart, you're definitely going to move on to maybe a more healthy, balanced connection, exploring romance a bit more in a healthy way, dating around a little bit more. It just feels more peace. Even with like this younger woman, it doesn't say a whole lot with this card, but I kind of feel like it kind of feels like an immature energy. So I don't know, some of you may be dealing with someone that's quite immature and it's just an imbalance. And maybe you're like, your heart is kind of guiding you to walk away from this person, but like mentally you're staying with this person for one reason or another. It just feels kind of like an imbalance, you know, if you follow your head with this and you stick around with this younger woman or this younger person, it just feels like there's going to continue to be conflict, essentially. Now, if you don't have anyone in your life or if this younger woman energy doesn't resonate, this could even just be referencing like you, even if you are not a woman or identify as a woman, it could just be like kind of referencing like a younger version of you and a more mature version of you kind of at odds, kind of like conflicting with each other. And it kind of feels like you needing to potentially step into the more mature version of you and putting your foot down and being like, I'm not going to keep myself in this conflicting energy and this space where I'm not happy or comfortable, and I'm going to finally follow my heart. Because that really does take a mature person to do that, you know, to say, I'm not going to just do what I think is right or what people are telling me is right. I'm going to do what feels right for me. And I feel like that's kind of what I'm getting at here with this. But yeah, you may definitely be asking about a relationship or a person that is just not aligned with you. And maybe you are needing to walk away from this person, this younger woman, and explore other options. So yeah, I definitely feel like you're being guided to follow your heart, follow your intuition. And we are going to get into your last oracle card. Like I said, I pulled one card of advice from Spirit regarding this situation. Or if you don't have a specific situation, this will just be general advice that Spirit wants you to hear at this time. You guys have Armadillo with protection. You are entering a phase where in order for you to be in alignment with your intentions and co-create your best life, you may have to be discerning and say no to many things that have been holding you back in the past. Interesting. So yeah, I definitely feel like, you know, that full energy at the bottom of the deck, there's so much kind of like new beginnings and new energy that I think is kind of beckoning to you, pile number 2, but it definitely requires you to walk away from things that have been holding you back, or even people that have been holding you back in the past, you know. And it could literally be this younger woman for some of you, or it's like the younger version of yourself, the more immature version of yourself that you're needing to walk away from, and really just following your heart. You know, maybe the younger version of you has been so like analytical, so logical, so mental thinking, and maybe that has left you in a place that's unfulfilling, you know. And so maybe, you know, you're being guided to really tap into your heart space at this time, really trusting in your heart space and in your intuition, and moving forward from your heart, you know, rather than your logical mind, so that you can find more fulfillment in your life, and so that you can be in alignment with your intentions and co-create your best life, you know. So yeah, take this how it resonates, because I know like not all of you are necessarily dealing with a younger woman or even are a younger woman, you know. So it could be, you know, like I said, some of you are dealing with a younger woman that's holding you back, or a younger person that's holding you back, or this is really referencing like the younger version of you, the more immature version of you that may have had bad patterns, bad habits that you are needing to walk away from. And I feel like your heart is calling you in a specific direction, pile number 2. So really go with that. Go with your intuition. Go with what your gut is telling you. It'll definitely bring you, as you step into this energy, and as you take those steps of following your heart, I feel like your mental space will definitely follow suit, and you'll find more mental peace as you take action towards what your heart is guiding you towards, pile number 2. Because I do feel like a lot of you have a lot going on in your mental space. So don't worry, as you do take action towards what your heart is calling you towards and what your intuition is pulling you towards, your mental space will get a whole lot calmer. And I think you'll just feel better in a general sense. Like you'll just feel a lot better, a lot lighter. So yes, follow your heart. That is what you're being guided to do. Pile number 2. I'm going to go ahead and leave this here for you. I do hope that this reading was helpful and that it resonated with you. If it did, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye! Hi pile 3, if you chose this amethyst, then this is going to be your reading where we are asking spirit, should you follow your head or follow your heart at this time? Like I said in the intro, this could be about a specific situation, person, or this could just be in a general sense if you're wanting to see where spirit is kind of guiding you at this time. And very quickly before we get started, I did want to mention that like most things in life, balance is typically the key to success. So having a good balance between your logical side and your more heartfelt side will normally lead you to a favorable outcome. So I wanted to kind of see where spirit is leaning you more towards if you are potentially off balance in some way, so that you can come into alignment and a better balance to bring in your desires. And yeah, let's go ahead and get in. We're going to start with your tarot, and then we'll get into your oracle cards, and at the very end, I did pull one card of advice from spirit regarding this situation, or just in general if you don't have a specific situation. So for pile 3, please spirit, pile number 3. Should pile 3 follow their head or their heart at this time? Should pile number 3 follow their head or their heart? So we're starting off with the Empress. Should pile 3 follow their head? We have the Emperor, the 2 of Pentacles, the High Priestess, and let's get one more. Should pile 3, thank you. We have the 5 of Wands and the Fool at the bottom of the deck. So pile number 3, the first thing I can tell you is that spirit is definitely encouraging you to have a very well balanced, I guess, energy between the two of your logical side and your more heartfelt side. Following your mind and following your heart at the same time, I feel like is what's coming through. So the Empress and the Emperor and the 2 of Pentacles being here, this is very clear to me that spirit is wanting you to have a very good balance between your masculine and your feminine. So in other words, having a very good balance between your mind and your heart. But I do feel like pile number 3 with the High Priestess here, this is about intuition. I do feel like you're being guided to really lean into your intuition at this time. You may have some sort of like conflicting energy with the 5 of Wands where maybe you're not trusting your gut as much as you should. You're not trusting your intuition as much as you should. And I feel like you're definitely being guided to do so. Now, I will say, normally when the High Priestess is coming out for this kind of reading, I would say, you know, with the High Priestess and the Empress, spirit may be guiding you to lean a little bit more into your heart space. But I still feel like the bigger message here for you, pile number 3, is that having a very, very good balance between your mind and your heart is going to be very important for you, with regards to this situation, or just in a general sense. Like I said in the beginning, you know, balance is normally the key to success with most things. And I feel like Some of you may actually already have a pretty good balance between the two, but I do think maybe you're not trusting your intuition as much as you should. There's a little bit of conflicting energy regarding your intuition, and I think that's something that maybe you're needing to focus more on. Really trusting your gut, trusting what you're intuitively being guided to. But I feel like for the most part, pile number 3, you really need to move forward with having a very, very beautiful balance between your mind and your heart with regards to what you're asking about, or just in a general sense. Like, what you're feeling and what you're thinking kind of are aligned or need to be aligned. So it does kind of feel like for some of you, you kind of actually already are kind of in a good balance, like I said, but your intuition, you're not trusting your intuition enough. And I think that's kind of what's, throwing you off a little bit, out of alignment a little bit, or out of balance a little bit. But for the most part, I just feel like, some of you are already pretty good at balancing the two, or if you're not, that's something that you need to work on. You need to balance the two with regards to what you're asking about, or just in general. It does feel like your heart and your mind kind of need to be on the same page, or are on the same page, if that makes sense. So it's not like your head and your heart are pulling you in two different directions necessarily. You may feel that way though, because I do feel like there's a lack of trust in your intuition a little bit at this time, pile number 3. But I feel like for most of you, like your head and your heart are kind of on the same page, or they should be on the same page. And if they're not, that's this High Priestess. That's where you need to kind of trust your intuition a little bit more, trust what you're feeling a little bit more. But it does kind of feel like, it's not like your head and your heart are pulling you into two different directions. I kind of feel like they're pulling you in the same direction. You just have to have more trust in that, pile number 3. So that's kind of straightforward answer. Not at all what I was expecting, but it's very interesting for the Empress, the Emperor, and the Two of Pentacles to come out, because like I said, like the Empress energy, I would see this as more of like following your heart. The Emperor, I would see this as more of following your head. And the Two of Pentacles is literally about balance. So yeah, for sure. Definitely having a balance between the two. And I think that balance is really just the two being on the same page, leading you to the same place. Which could even be like, the full energy at the bottom of the deck, a new beginning, a leap of faith. So it kind of feels like wherever you're being guided, pile number 3, it's like your heart is guiding you towards this thing, or this new beginning, or this leap of faith, but your mind is also kind of backing it up, So that's very interesting. I want to go ahead and get into your oracle cards now. I pulled one tea leaf to see the outcome if you follow your head, and one tea leaf to see the outcome if you follow your heart. So if you follow your head, you have bowl with plenty of material things. And if you follow your heart, we have pale, time to get out of a situation. Okay. So following your head, plenty of material things, and following your heart is pale, time to get out of a situation. Okay, so what I'm actually hearing, these are actually both very good energies. So what I'm hearing with the pale, following your heart, will kind of lead you to that full energy. Like I said, time to get out of a situation. And I feel like part of this is you getting out of this place of conflict within yourself. Maybe it's like a lack of trust within your intuition. I feel like by you following your heart, it will definitely kind of make you trust yourself a little bit more, and it will get you out of a place of conflict. Now, if you follow your head, we have plenty of material things, right? So this kind of speaks for itself. There's abundance here. There's success here. Regarding whatever you're asking about, this is a favorable outcome if you follow your head, for sure. Either way, I still feel like you need to have a balance between the two, but I think by you tapping into your heart space a little bit more, like I said, with that High Priestess, kind of tapping into your intuition a little bit more, trusting your intuition a little bit more, trusting what you're feeling a little bit more, will help you get out of that Five of Wands, that energy of conflict, of you not trusting your feelings, or just having conflicting energy with trusting your feelings. Because I feel like you have a good balance, or you will have a good balance between your head space and your heart space and where they're trying to lead you. I feel like they're leading you to the same place, which is victory and success in whatever you're asking about. But following your heart space, I think or tapping a little bit more into your heart space at this time will be a little bit more favorable, just because it will release any kind of conflict you have about trusting that and trusting your intuition. And I think it'll help you stay in a space of balance a little bit more. But either way, it just feels like you have to have a balance between the two with what you're asking about specifically, or just in a general sense. You really have to have a balance between the two, and I think it's because they're both leading you to the same place. So let's take a look at your last card here. Like I said, this will be advice from Spirit regarding the situation you're asking about, or just in a general sense if you don't have a specific situation. So you guys have Cat with Independence. You are being encouraged to develop a balance. Oh my gosh, pile 3. A balance between independence and time of togetherness. This also indicates that you would greatly benefit from a profound journey of self-discovery. Learn to enjoy time spent with yourself. Okay. Very interesting that this was talking about balance. This card is more so talking about balance between, independence and spending time with other people. So even the Five of Wands could be referencing, maybe there's conflicting energy of like people around you, because I could definitely talk about that as well. Maybe there's people around you that are making you doubt yourself, or doubt your intuition, or doubt what you're feeling. That could also be the case, and maybe that's what this pail is talking about, like time to get out of a situation. Maybe it's time to distance yourself from people who are making you doubt yourself, doubt your intuition. So yeah, that could also be what Spirit is kind of honing in on with this energy over here as well. But if not, I just, once again, I feel like this is you releasing any kind of conflict that you may have internally about trusting your intuition and your gut. So yeah, independence. A journey of self-discovery. Learning to spend time with yourself may be very important. It just kind of feels like taking control of your life and of where you want to go. That's kind of the energy that I'm picking up on here, just taking control of things. So take this message how it resonates for you specifically. I'm going to go ahead and leave this here for you, pile number 3. I do hope that this reading was helpful and that it resonated with you. If it did, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!